So they increased the explosion radius of the grenade launcher. By how much you say? My thoughts exactly. Suffice to say, it's significant. We officially have ourselves one more deadly Terminid support weapon. If you liked it then, you're gonna love it now. Let's get some. My last video was a grenade launcher run as well, but that was before the patch. I figured, this gives all you grenade launcher lovers a good comparison. And I'll be honest, it's not the same gun anymore. The explosion radius feels way bigger. And we also got 50% more ammo on it, since we have 3 magazines instead of 2 now. That may sound like very little, but realistically, it's absolutely bonkers. I brought a scythe, for testing purposes. I probably used it 5 times this run, so if you came for a scythe, I'm very sorry. This is mostly a grenade launcher run. Straight off the bat, I'll say I was curious how exactly they were going to keep the game difficult, with all the insane buffs to guns. I'm pretty confident the answer was simple. They simply spawn a lot more stuff on us now. Since I don't like stealthing, you know this is going to be a fun run. As for the route, I enjoy them simple, since I can adapt more easily that way. Going clockwise here doesn't get much simpler than that. Tip number 1. Mark Hellbombs. This last patch also added the ability to mark Hellbombs. Marking a Hellbomb used to look the same as marking a random rock. Luckily, that's fixed now, so be sure to mark them for your teammates. And of course, enjoy your cup of explosive liberty.
Found something.
They fixed these, by the way. You actually have to hold the pose now, or it doesn't open. There's gonna be lots of this in this video. Stun grenading the same spot repeatedly, waiting for everything to stack, before unloading a full magazine of launched grenades. The strength of this build is the infinite ammo. Normally, I'd be preserving grenade launcher ammo a lot more. Same goes for the stun grenades. But since we now have 3 magazines instead of 2, and also brought a supply pack, you better be sure we're gonna be wombo comboing our way to victory. Which leads me to today's fun fact theme. Strengths. Fun fact number 1. Your strength is obvious. Assuming you have food and safety, your top priority in life should be to find your passion. Finding something you love doing. To a degree that you do it for free even. I heard a fun story once. Someone was asked in a job interview what their strengths were, to which they replied, perfectionism, discipline, and a sense of humor. Generic replies we all learn to use sooner or later. So the interviewer said, no, you misunderstood. I meant, what can I ask you to do for 12 hours straight? And you'll thank me for it. Alternatively, your weakness is the answer to, what can I ask you to do for triple your pay, but you'd still say no? See, one could argue, what you love doing is per definition your strength. And if it's not true for you yet, it will be in time. Look at this. That's not a normal amount of enemies. I think they probably just raised the cap on the total amount of enemies that can be present at any given time. Again though, need more science. Let me know if you can confirm or deny with absolute certainty. Oh yeah, tip number 2. The 500 kilogram Eagle is now the best Eagle. I used to prefer the Eagle Airstrike, since it covered a lot more terrain than the 500 kilogram did. Of course, it never packed as big of a punch, but more often than not, I'd be glad I brought the Airstrike over the 500, not the other way around. Now that they've adjusted the range of the 500 kilogram to match the visual effects, however, man oh man is this a no-brainer. On top of everything it used to do, it now wave clears as well, which was arguably its only weakness. Have fun, team. Tip number 3. Circle the perimeter. I've mentioned this tip before, but that was mostly to help you avoid stuff. If you're used to it by now, then you'll know that everything lines up for you, single file, which makes them ripe for the picking. Be sure to abuse heaviness this way, even after you've cleared it. Free herding of the sheep, really.
Get some! Get some!
Tip number 4. An advanced one. Calculate pathing. Adding to tip number 3 perhaps, Try to always be a couple steps ahead of them, especially while running. In this case, I know I have one nest left to do, and I failed to snipe it. I also have no stratagems to nuke it from up here, so I have to go in. Letting them follow me out is a good idea, because then they have to run all the way back to the ramp in order to catch me while I'm in their nest. But since I can just climb back out, they now have to path back out again, making them chase their own tail. My pathing went really well here. I actually managed to just lose all of them, so skipping forward. I ran to the mega nest and called a resupply. Tip number 5. Find high vantage points. I hoped I could snipe some mega nests from here. Unfortunately, no banana. You should always look for high ground, however, since you often get freebie snipes. And if not, at least you see everything coming from there. So whenever you run into a high vantage point, be sure to hold it for a moment. You'll start seeing much more than you might imagine. Which leads me to fun fact number 2. Repetition is king. Information that we run into multiple times is considered important by our brain, so it must be anchored into our memory. Additively, if you see it only once, your brain considers it unimportant, so it discards it. On top of that, our brain will form specific pathways for the task you're repeating, since it's accepted that it's important, which is why, if you want to get good at something, do it a lot. Don't complain, try. Fail, learn, try again. Soon enough you'll find you've become much better at it than you've noticed. I'm an intensive care unit nurse turned content creator. If you're enjoying this mix of game tips and fun facts, a like and a sub would help me out a lot. Thank you for your time and effort, regardless.
Administering freedom. Eagle 1 withdrawing to rearm.
Not today! My life for Super Earth!
Tip number 6. Shoot Tentacles. They made tentacles retreat faster when damaged. I didn't realize that till later in this run. Of course, kill the impaler if you can, but if not, shooting tentacles is a thing now. Tip number 7. Imprint. Did you know your brain can easily lock on to about 5 or 6 things instantly? Don't believe me? How many nests do you see while I'm flying in? And do you remember where they are?
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
See? I'm telling you, your brain is more epic than you know. Enjoy.
victory! Sweet liberty, my arm! That's called democracy! I'm hit! Sweet liberty!
Outpost cleared. Sending down equipment package.
That was fun. Alright, moving on. It's starting to get a lot more peaceful, since I took out quite some nests, including the Mega, so it's taking patrols longer to get to me. I die a silly death once en route to the sub-objective here, but nothing else happens. Fun fact number 3. Mental Fortitude is trainable. Getting to a point where the world around you doesn't shake you anymore, or at least not as easily, is a skill you can train. One you should train, because arguably, there's few skills more valuable in this lifetime. I'll save you the giant list of tips you can Google, and hit you with the advice I enjoy most. Acknowledge how you feel. When you're pissed off, after you're done raging, ask yourself what you're actually upset about, which can be done by simply spamming yourself with a "and why is that?" question. It'll be annoying in the beginning, but you'll learn stuff about yourself rapidly though, after which you'll know exactly what you should and shouldn't do to maintain your composure. Remind yourself you deserve peace of mind, so stop handing it away every chance you get. As an example, I used to get upset when I died in video games, so I asked myself, why did dying in a video game upset me? Because it made me feel like a loser. So why did being a loser upset me? Because it made me feel weak. And why did feeling weak upset me? Because it made me feel like I couldn't protect those I care for. Where I then realized, wait, how does dying in a video game translate to being too weak to protect those I care for? The answer, of course, is it doesn't. So I stopped caring about dying in video games. Probably good if I mention, this type of self-reflection is gonna hurt. Who knew that developing mental fortitude required taking mental beatings? From yourself, to be fair.
Mission progress lost.
Just running to the next sub-objective here. So, tip number 8. Stims are flexible. Don't just stim when you need health.
Found something!
Stim when you need stamina. But also, stim when you think you're about to need health. Or even when you're about to need stamina. See, the thing is, you don't know whether Terminids or automatons are going to give you the second you need to pull that stim off. So if you see it coming, stim ahead of time. The amount of times this has saved me is absurd. Although I suppose prophylaxis, or prevention, will always beat the cure. I am heavily surrounded here. Tip number 9. Disengage when surrounded. See, no matter how much it may look like you're winning by blowing up the enemies in front of you, it's the things encroaching on you from all the other angles that tell the whole story. If you stay put when you're surrounded, you didn't die when you got jumped. You died when you decided to fight there. I've mentioned this tip before, but honestly, I'll gladly repeat it every video. just to make sure you never forget it. Get the heck out of there.
Bug out!
Firing orbital strike.
Feels good!
Reinforcement budget running low.
I knew it was going to be hunters that got me. By the way, I heard the game got a performance upgrade. Is your game feeling better nowadays also? I do feel like I'm losing less frame rates. Me dying is just me being bad, no worries.
Injury? What injury? Get some! Get some! My life for Super Earth!
Terminid outpost destroyed.
Sweet liberty, my leg!
Enemy tactical asset within threat range.
Here comes the cavalry. Eagle One leaving combat zone to resupply.
Objective located. Have a taste of democracy!
Deploying equipment package.
I'm still here, by the way. Just letting you focus on the gameplay. I'll let this footage run, since not everyone knows about throwing shells yet. I'll link an older short video in the top right here, explaining how I'm throwing them. Meanwhile, fun fact number 4. Grit is everything. Learning how to never quit is a guarantee for success. Obviously, right? If you don't stop until you win, obviously, at some point, you will win. It might take forever, but at some point, you will win. That requires you finding it in you to understand. If you want to win big at anything, you have to commit to the long term. If you win big in the short term, you most likely got lucky. Congratulations. If you prefer to be skilled instead of lucky, however, it's grind time. Get to work and never ask if you're there yet. Just grind. Among everyone you've ever considered successful, I'll give you 3 guesses what the common denominator is. That's right. Grit. To make sure there's no misunderstanding, it's not dedication, which is being committed to something. It's also not determination, which is being calculated. It's perseverance, the ability to be dedicated and determined to a goal despite constant difficulty and the delay in success.
Eagle 1 armed and ready.
Have a taste of democracy!
I don't like when people preach things they haven't achieved, and I can imagine I'm not alone there. So I'll elaborate why I feel successful. I've spent the last decade of my life saving lives. Not metaphorically, literally. I learned the importance of having a strong team, one that cares for each other, and is willing to learn from one another. I've seen the magical things you can pull off in said team. I've learned how crucial it is to take responsibility, especially for those in your charge, like students, for example. I've learned that life is short, and that we can easily mistake trivial things for essential things in life. The best moments I can recall are people I met 5 minutes ago running to me to hug me, because I helped prevent them having to say goodbye to their mother, or even assisted in them being able to peacefully say goodbye to their mother. Success to me is being able to take care of others. So if you define success any differently, that's completely fine, of course. I do challenge you to pose the question: why do you consider that specifically success? I hope your self-reflection is as fruitful as mine was.
I'm in! Sweet liberty! The blood!
I'll be honest, I'm loving how ridiculously red the minimap is since this patch. Thank you, Arrowhead. This is awesome. Also, could you add team mechanics, like someone being able to mantle over higher ledges whenever I post up to it with my back against the wall? Or maybe letting someone use my shoulder when I'm crouched in front of them for extra recoil reduction. Just ideas. Thank you in advance. XOXO.
Democracy delivered.
Tip number 10. Objective Hellbombs are flexible. Did you know you can dial in the Hellbomb stratagem on an objective, but then throw it somewhere else? You can also have 4 people dial it in, and then just hold the stratagem. This essentially means, if you have a coordinated 4-man group, you can quad Hellbomb a Mega Nest. I do it on the medium nest here. It definitely wasn't necessary, but it did kill quite some bugs for me. So, maybe it was democratically necessary? Have fun, of course.
Hellbomb orb! Clear the area!
Outpost cleared.
Don't forget to use stun grenades to get away. In this case, I calculated that I was going to be hellbombing the Shriekers, so that stun grenade killed everything behind me already. Because they're either going to follow me into the hellbomb, or they'll lose track of me. Easy wins, really. I stimmed here out of habit, so I can do consoles while things are hitting me. There's nothing here though, but whatever. Details, details.
Orbital strike incoming.
I am definitely skipping this gigantic run all the way to the sub-objective. It was super peaceful. I killed some bugs here and there, but no big fights. So here we go. Tip number 11. Staggered Nukes WIN. When you have explosion stratagems up, stagger them on breaches. In my case, I use a 500 kilogram bomb and I stun grenade. I wait 2 seconds, I stun again. I use a Sieve high yield explosive and then stun again. I wait 2 seconds and I stun one more time. When the dust settled, it's almost as if there was no breach. Fun fact number 5. Altruism Matters. I said this on stream the other day. You know when you ask a company spokesperson why they do what they do, they never say, because we want your money. You know why? Because that's the fastest way for them to not get it. Funny enough, the exact opposite also works. If you know your money will be used for charity, for example, or just good work in general, you don't mind giving it to people. Yes, I know. Charities are plenty corrupt as well, man. I'm saying, if I can show you they're not, would you or would you not be willing to help them out? Assuming you had the money to do so. Taking care of others is a strength, and your DNA knows it.
Objective critical stratagem available.
I stagger some nukes on this breach again, but then the audio breaks. So I was gonna do another rock montage, but the combat is kinda stale. So I'm just gonna cut forward to the radar objective. You didn't miss much, I promise.
Tactical asset near your location.
Nothing attacks me here either, so I rotate the dish, finish the objective, and then run all the way to the main objective. Tip number 12.
Objective near your position.
Adjust mouse sensitivity. Don't mess with your sensitivity randomly. Mess with it diligently though. If you're playing a shooter game and you notice you keep missing shots, ask yourself, are you missing because you don't drag it onto your target fast enough? Or because you drag it past your target? Clearly, if it's not fast enough, then raise your sensitivity. If you drag it past the target by accident, then lower it. In theory, that'll improve your aim significantly. The reason I wanted to include this as a tip is because I know people who claim they just can't aim any better. That usually just means you can't get your brain to adjust your hand-eye coordination well enough, or at least to your liking. So whether your brain insists on you either dragging your crosshair too slow or you dragging it past your target, in both cases, your mouse sensitivity will fix a lot. Play with it.
Attack underway.
For prosperity!
Firing orbital strike.
Jump cutting to extraction here. Just a few bugs here and there. It's action extraction time. I love this scene. If you know anyone that doubts the grenade launcher, show them this scene. BRB, getting popcorn. I'll hit you with an outro and last fun fact in about 150 seconds. Enjoy.
ETA T-minus 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Say hello to democracy!
Ready.
Freedom forever!
ETA T-minus 2 minutes.
Democracy's on its way.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Orbital strike incoming.
Last reload!
ETA T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
Administering freedom. Eagle 1 leaving combat zone to resupply.
Okay, time for the outro. And fun fact number 6. Nothing can upset you. Don't get me wrong. Plenty of people can say or do things to you that could trigger a response.
1 minute.
The key word here is could. Every time you've ever been upset, you chose to let someone get to you. Probably because you're a kind person. So you care about them more than you perhaps should. When you find yourself in an emotional state that someone or something else put you in, ask yourself, why do I choose to let this bother me so much? The best proof I can give of this are my patients, who have to say their goodbyes to their loved ones, because there simply is nothing we can do for them anymore. You'd think that'd be as upsetting as it gets. The truth is, there are plenty of people who said, and say, goodbye with a smile on their face. They hit family with, there's nothing to be done, and I enjoyed my life. I don't see the need to start feeling despair at the end of it. Or, there's plenty of things I'd still like to do, but that's up to you now. I had a wonderful ride. And lastly, of course I'd love to be around for longer, especially for you. Every chapter comes to an end though, and this one's mine. So give no one your peace of mind. Chase your dreams. Never give up, and remember to enjoy the ride. My name is Faso. Be well, and take care.